There is an automotive icon that really redefined the concept of what a car can be. It could unite two opposite concepts and really manage to exceed in both of those at the same time. We are probably talking about the Porsche 911 GT3, a track car for daily usage. Or is it a daily car for track usage? So, what is really the difference between a race car and a street car? Could it be that the differences, they are only aestheticals, or is there something hidden beneath the aggressive forms and shapes that really allow us to unite two different worlds in the same celestial body? Speaking of body, take a look at this front end. So here at the beautiful front end of the GT3, the new one, we have hidden a feature that is both for the street and for the track. Is the front diffuser, which in the GT3 is not inflatable as the turbo version. Here in the GT3, we have a malleable, adjustable front end diffuser with 4 settings. The first one for street usage, and the other 3 ones for track usage. As you were increasing the levels, you increase the downforce at the front axle, and this allows the front axle to get more grip, and it gets the car even faster around the corners. Also at the front, we have a new center radiator grille with a new center radiator alongside the 2 other ones that we usually have on the Carrera models. Also, there is a new vent here for this center radiator at the hood, and even the hood is made of a special material, composite between plastic and carbon fiber. Very light to access the front hood, actually the front trunk. There is no engine here. And also very light to increase the speed of the car. It makes the car even lighter. Here at the front suspension, we also have different settings for daily usage or track usage. Usually, the GT suspensions, they are modified for a real range of modifications that you can do and adjustments. Speaking of which, we can say about the front sway bars that has 3 different settings. The first one, the softer one. The second one, recommended for street usage, which is the medium, and also a hard setting for track usage. You have to choose between agility and control. Also, we have the angles of the suspension. On the GT models, we have much wider angle adjustment. And for track usage, they usually recommend 2 degrees and 15 minutes of cambering angles for better cornering performance when you are on high speeds. Also, the 992 GT3 comes with a new revolution on the 911 family for street, which is the first 911 with double wishbone suspension here at the front end. So to understand the double wishbone system here on the front end, we first must understand the usual system, which is not the double wishbone. It's called the McPherson system. What happens when the car gets a bump here at the front? The wheel tends to inclinate towards the car. So this alters the tiring contact patch that we have here. So the tires goes this way and makes this angle, and the stereo of the tire goes away from contact on the asphalt, on the street, right? So this ends up reducing the grip here at the front. With a double wishbone system, it's very different. We have two control arms which isolates the wheel movement. So when you get a bump here at the double wishbone system, the wheel doesn't go inside on an angle. It goes straight ahead. So this makes the tire contact on the asphalt being even. So of course, we have more grip and more responsiveness from the front axle with a double wishbone system. It makes the car faster on corners. Also, at the front axle, we must talk about and show you the huge 410 millimeters brake disc made of carbon ceramic, the PCCB, and of course the yellow caliper with 6 pistons. And also here we have a street and track feature at the wheel. It is light, it is beautiful, has a very good finish for daily usage, but also we have a track feature here. This is a wheel hub made for attaching the wheel, of course, to the car. And this is one of the most satisfying features of this car. Let me show you here up close. So attaching the wheel, we have a very complex system of wheel hubs, wheel bearings, and this huge nut here. And to expose the system, I use this special key here and take off this cap, and it reveals one of the most satisfying features of this car. It is this mechanism here. We came here with a very special tool for operating here, and the click that I get here, oh my God, this is so satisfying. Let me do this again. Oh my God, this is unbelievable. Okay, the wheel hub must be torqued on with a very special torque wrench on about 600 Newton meters of torque, and also each 20,000 kilometers of track usage, the whole system, the wheel bearing, the wheel hub, and the nut must be replaced. So this wouldn't be a 911 videos if we didn't talk about all of the optional that this very specific model came with from factory. Actually, this is like a cheeseburger with all of the optionals, lettuce, tomato, everything on it. I'm talking about, of course, the shark blue color. This is a very popular color right now. And also we have the carbon fiber side mirrors, and also the hoof is made of carbon as well. For the track and for the street. It's good for you to run around and show off to your friends, and also it is lighter, so it lowers the center of the gravity of this car. Also, here inside we have the other optionals. Let's take a look. Here inside we have the carbon bucket seats. This is for track usage, of course. It is made of carbon, it is lighter, and there is not many adjustment here. Most of those, they are actually even manual. And they give you very support on the lateral forces. It is a track-oriented seat, of course. You fit in or you don't. You don't have much choices here because there is not much room for adjustment here. Also, on the seat belt side, we have daily usage seat belt made with a shark blue color. And of course, we also have a track seat belt with a 6-point harness for keeping you very tied to the car when you are on the track, of course. Attached to it, we have the optional Club Sport roll cage, which is very beautiful and also is very useful when you are rolling over at the track. Not good. Also, here in the interior, we have, as expected, carbon fiber and Alcantara everywhere. And here at the gear knob, you may think this is a manual car, but it isn't. This is a PDK, a 7-speed only gearbox, which is lighter for track usage, of course. Also, let's take a look at the dashboard. So here at the dash, we can choose 3 different modes, normal and sport for street driving, and of course, a track mode. Also, there is some track HUDs here hidden if you want to monitor your progress and the car on the track. It gives a very emphasis to the temperature and pressures of the car and the engine and the tires as well. And also, just take a look at the rev counter here at the middle. It goes until 10,000 RPMs. Let's talk about the engine in a minute. Here are the rear axle of the GT3. We have a lot of improvements as expected. We have 5 different control arms. One of the rubber bushings, they are replaced by steel bushings for a better rigidity. We also have the same adjustments that we have on the angles and on the sway bars that we have at the front. And also we have the center lock system. Wait a minute. Well, the GT3 also comes with a rear steering axle for making this car make curves as no other one. This is a very capable car on the market right now. And also try to imagine all of the loads and forces that are being applied here at the rear axle. This makes this same center hub system that on the front axle we have 20,000 kilometers of track usage replacement time. Here at the rear axle it's only 10,000, so half of the duration of the front axle. Also, I must say, this car comes with a semi-slick tire, so better for track usage and street usage as well. But Porsche doesn't recommend installing slick tires here. This will increase too much all of the lateral forces that the car will get with increased grip, of course, and this will put even much load to the suspension components, even beyond their limits. Yeah, turns a lot. And here at the backside of the GT3, the most striking feature of this new generation, the rear wing with swan neck supports. Here we also have the duality between street and track usage. First, for street usage, well, swans are very beautiful, so this is a very pretty feature for you to roll around on the city. And also we have a track feature here. There are 4 adjustments for different angles of attack here for this rear wing. So you have to choose between the first setting, which is recommended for street usage, where you get the highest top speed, and the 4 settings, where you increase the angle of attack of this rear wing and you generate even more downforce here on the rear axle, and you improve the grip and of course the cornering speed of the car. And I also must say that the swan neck makes the whole backside of this wing clear. So we have a very laminar, not turbulent flow here, makes the car generate downforce but doesn't make too much of drag. So it is very efficient, of course. Well, for untrained eyes, you may not see, but this car doesn't have 1 rear wing, but also 3 rear wings. Check this out. Swan neck, ducktail. So this part is the second wing that works alongside with a rear wing here to work with all of this flow here on the rear side of the car to generate even more downforce. Below the ducktail, we have the exhaust, of course, and aside here, we have the third wing, which is a huge wing that goes under the car, very near the wheels, and that helps out with this whole downforce department. And also here, hidden above the ducktail, we have the new air intakes for the engine. Speaking of which, you guessed it right! It is a race engine. Look! Oh my God! You just heard that fuel cut off! What the fuck is going on, man? If I just put my pedal on the throttle, you can see the burbos. Can you hear it? Okay, 4 liters, 6 cylinders, of course, revs to 9,000 RPMs. The horsepower was declared around 600 horsepower for Porsche. This is a lot. And what we're hearing right now is the result of 2 acoustic experiences. The first one, original, it comes from the intake systems. There we have 7 throttle bodies, not 6 but 7. 1 by each cylinder for instant throttle response. Just look at this, man. Fuck yeah. And another one at the entrance of the intake systems, just by the plenum, which usually is at the open position, right? Also, the whole plane system, the plenum, it is a dual chamber plenum here, as we are expecting from the previous models. And all of these roars on low load is what we are hearing right now. But there is something else here. We also have an exhaust noise, an exhaust roar, which was tuned by a very special exhaust system, track oriented. Let's talk more about this. What an engine, man. Again! Come on, this never gets old, man. What you just have heard, it is a very special exhaust, a very special project made here in Brazil by a company called Secret Weapon, where they took all of these higher frequencies, which are natural to this natural aspirated engine, and try to raise it, raise the intensity, and also raise the tune of the engine to transform the experience on a track-oriented philosophy. And this is what they do, and this is what they accomplished here. The whole project is made of exhaust headers made of stainless steel exhaust, long tube headers, and in the end we have a titanium handmade exhaust catback system. What you're hearing right now is the real noise and roar potential of this 6-cylinder engine to its full glory. Not bad. But it doesn't end here. It is not only on the exhaust where we studied the potential of this engine, and also on the engine calibration, working with different fuels, we did reach new levels of torque and power here to this platform. Let's talk about this. So when you buy your GT3, Porsche offers this car with only one calibration. for a mixed use between street and track. But here we have some alterations at the exhaust side. We have a better flow and lower temperatures as well. So we must do a new calibration considering these alterations for a much more track-oriented engine. Also, the customer asked us to explore a much higher ethanol content on the fuel mixture. So we have a mixture here of high-octane fuel, high-octane gasoline with 102 RONs of octane rating, plus 50% of pure ethanol. The addition of the ethanol on the fueling side of this car will first reduce the tendency to detonation at the cylinder, so we have a higher octane fuel rating here that allows us to explore more power. And also the additional content of fuel injected because of the ethanol will have lower combustion chamber temperatures and also lower EGTs. And this is also allow us to raise the power output of the engine. And those two, combined with the improved flow of the exhaust, we have a perfect scenario to power improvements here. So Porsche declares that the GT3 has originally around 500 horsepower at the engine and 470 Newton meters of torque. And here at our dynamometer, we've measured the wheel horsepower, which was around 410 horsepower at the wheels, and also the torque, 424 Newton meters of torque. All of these values are SAE corrected, okay? So what we did here was to explore all of these modifications that we did to the powertrain and make small increments, small adjustments at the calibrations to see where we've found the limits of this engine at this current configuration. And with the calibrations, the exhaust and the different fuels, we've reached 460 wheel horsepower, so 50 horsepower more at the wheels, and also 468 Newton meters of torque. But we also consider that in some areas at the rev range, we've gained even 80 Newton meters more of torque. Also, I must say that exhaust temperatures, they were much lower. The car is producing 50 horsepower more at the wheels, but the exhaust gas temperatures are around 100 degrees lower than on the original setup, as expected actually. This car already tested an ethanol tune, not this one that I'm showing you right now, but it was already tested, this platform, with these modifications at the track, Interlagos track, here in São Paulo. And the results at the track were very impressive, even lower than the GT3 cars, the Cup cars. At the track-only side of these models. Not bad. If you want to know more about this exhaust and this tune, please check the link below. We will send you a few informations there as well. So this is it. The new GT3 presented in English, but we're getting better on that department, of course. All of the features, the track features, and also an exploration about the potential, the acoustic potential, and other power potentials of this engine with this new exhaust system made in Brazil by Brazilians of the Secret Weapon exhaust factory. Not bad. So, if you like this content, please consider subscribing to this channel right now, and also don't forget to thumbs up if you enjoy it as I am right now. The engine roar. This video ends here. I'm Guilherme and this is AvantGarde.